What's up, lovely human? It's your host, Yancy, and you're listening to That's Exciting, the podcast. Today, we are checking in on our mental health. Yes, so this is going to be an episode where I ask you 5 questions on your mental health. But before that, announcement. As you may have noticed, there hasn't been any activity on wherever you listen to your podcast. So no episodes were posted or excerpts on social media for that instance or content. I was really looking forward to the summer program, but a lot of things happened in the past 2 months that I'm going to be sharing with you near the end of this episode, which sounds like this. And also dealing with, grief and tension and fights and not showing up for myself the way I know I deserve. And so for personal reason, I decided to take a break this summer to prioritize my mental well-being and to give myself permission to come back rested, come back with a clear mind. I love doing this podcast, and taking a break was a really difficult decision to take because I had so many things planned, but I need to listen to myself right now. That being said, if I take a break and I rest, I'm gonna come back, baby. I'm gonna come back happy, energized. So that being said, the podcast is picking up. I am coming back with the normal format episodes and also check-in episodes. The podcast is gonna start in fall. And when I say fall, I don't know if fall encompasses August or September, but it's gonna be in those times. So you know what? Follow us on Instagram at That's Exciting to, keep posted and know what's up. If you are new to check-in episodes, welcome. I will be asking you 5 questions and you'll have 30 or 10 seconds to reflect on them. And that's depending on the question. When you hear this sound, that means that you have 3 seconds left. Make sure that you are in an environment where you can relax, reflect, and for this one, I would highly encourage you to have a pen and paper to write down your thoughts. Also, feel free to pause whenever you need a little bit more time to reflect. I would like to specify that I am not a mental health expert, and so this is just a check-in episode to check in with yourself mentally. But if you feel like you need a little bit more support, just know that there's plenty resources that you can look up near your city, near you. So you have therapy that could be online or in person. There's community support groups as well, and listening lines. So I have put in the show notes a list of listening lines in Montreal, Quebec. So I would recommend having a look, and I know that reaching out for help is difficult. So just know that there's people and resources that are out there to help you. All of these questions are based on my experience of the past 2 months, and these are kind of reminders and questions that I ask myself in high stress, high anxiety situations. And I'm really hoping that you can find value in the questions that I'm asking. And as always, this is a give and take. So take what you need and leave what you don't. Are you ready? All right, let's go. Before we jump in the check-in itself, I would love for us to do a little breathing exercise. So we're gonna breathe in for 5, hold it for 3, and exhale for 5. So we're gonna do this 5 times. Let's begin. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. And this is the last one. Breathe in. Hold. and breathe out. All right, let's now start the check-in. So tell me, what is currently taking a lot of space in your head? And how is this affecting your mental and physical well-being? 30 seconds. Got your answer? All right, let's hop on the next one. Based on your prior answer, what in this situation is in your control? Now, focusing on what is in your control in this given situation, what are 3 things right now that you can do to improve the situation? If the situation is not in your control, what are some things that you can cultivate and do that make you feel whole and happy? For example, going for a walk, talking to friends, doing something creative even. 30 seconds. I'd like to give an additional exercise for those who are up for it. On your piece of paper, you're going to draw a line in the middle. The column on the left is for feelings. The column on the right is for facts. Let's start with feelings. How is the situation or thoughts that is taking a lot of mental space? How is that making you feel? How are you feeling right now? In the show notes, I have linked a list of feelings to help you with that. You have 10 seconds for this one, and feel free to pause if you need more time to write it down. 10 seconds, starting now. All right, now that we held space for expressing our feelings, we're gonna talk about the facts. What about this current situation and how you're feeling is true? For instance, if you've been feeling like a failure, which is kind of what I share near the end of this episode, what about that is true? Can a human being in itself be inherently a failure in all aspects and in all these spheres of their life? I strongly believe that this is very unlikely, and that calls for a value and also morality judgment. For that instance, there's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck that I highly recommend. That being said, I think that I may have taken decisions that led up to certain events failing, but the reality is I don't have the control over all the variables of the outcome that happened. Furthermore, there's a lot of events that were out of my control, and so how I am feeling is not a result of me, but more so of everything that happened when it happened. So, 10 seconds to reflect on the facts. All right, next set of questions. We're already halfway. So, how are you talking to yourself? Are you compassionate? Do you feel like you've been blaming yourself a lot or shaming yourself even? Have you been able to hold space for yourself like you would for a friend? In your self-dialogue, is there a lot of negative self-talk or positive self-talk? 30 seconds. Got your answer? All right, let's move on. We are going to be looking backwards. And for this one, I want to bring a quote by Steve Jobs that says, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna connect the dots looking backwards. Oftentimes when there's a lot of stress, when there's a lot going on, when we're not feeling at our best, we tend to compare ourselves. And comparison is a thief of joy. We compare ourselves to others. We compare ourselves to our past self that was doing much better. Or we are comparing ourselves to what we are aspiring to be. And if we're honest, this is where the negative self-talk starts. We tend to compare ourselves in a deficit mindset. So what don't I have that this person has? We're comparing to see what we lack, what we didn't achieve. So we're gonna take the time to look at our process and look at our progress. So for this, we're gonna start by identifying which sphere is affected by the events, by the thoughts that is taking a lot of space in your head. So is it financial, relationships, friendships, family, yourself, in your personal life? For this one, I'll give you 5 seconds to write it down. Got your answer? All right. Now, I want you to reflect on this specific area of your life. Think about the starting point of this journey. For example, if the situation that is taking a lot of space in your head lately is boundaries with friends, remind yourself of where you started that journey. Now that you're able to visualize point A of this said journey, what are 3 things that you're proud of yourself for? 3 ways where you were able to show up for yourself and advocate for yourself. 30 seconds. Got your answer? Let's move on to the next one. For this last one, we are going to do a little role play. If you were your best friend, what would you tell yourself right now? 30 seconds. Before we end this check-in, when was the last time you ate today? And when was the last time you drank water? This is your reminder to drink a little bit of water and also to munch on a little something, because this is something that I forget whenever I am in a stressful, overwhelming situation. All right, we are now done with our 5 questions, our check-in on mental health. I really hope that you found value in the questions that were provided. And as I said, this is a give and take. I'm actually not sure if I'm saying the right thing, but what I'm trying to say is take what you need and leave what doesn't serve you. All right, we are at the segment of what's been up in Yancy's life. What's up? First off, I just gotta say, I missed you. I've been really looking forward to crafting more of these episodes for your enjoyment and also edutainment. Just know that I feel really vulnerable right now. And I'll start by saying, I'm afraid to share out loud everything that I've been going through in the past 2 months, just because I have a habit of minimizing everything that I'm going through when it's a lot. And so I feel like everything that I've been going through is not that big of a deal. And it's not helping me right now. It's really not helping me. It's not serving me. And one thing that you need to know about my life is every life challenges happen at the same time, which is really energy consuming, and it's really tough and rough to deal with everything at once. I'll start by saying that I'm really proud of the resilience that I've shown. I'm also proud that I'm able to still advocate for my needs, advocate for for my space and for my well-being, even though I am running on low energy right now. And it's been tough. It's been really tough. I feel like it's in those moments where you learn the most. You learn big life lessons, and that's with capital L's. And speaking of L's, I've taken a lot of L's lately. And I've been feeling like I'm failing at everything. And I've been feeling like I'm a burden to my entourage. That really took a toll on my mental. That was really, it's been really tough. In the past 2 months, there was my grandmother's illness, fights and persisting fights with my best friend that I really didn't need, that added additional stress, my grandmother's passing, another passing in the family, a trip that I've been planning that is not working out, and everybody's on edge because we're dealing with grief. A lot of things that I've attempted to do in the past 2 months have not worked out, and everything that I tried to do, I felt like it was not good enough. That's in personal life, that's in professional life, pretty much in all aspects of my life, socials with friends. Like, I felt like trying my best was the equivalent to I'm a failure because things were not working out. And there was a lot of doors that were shut. And also dealing with, grief and tension and fights and not showing up for myself the way I know I deserve. And one thing that I'm proud of is realizing that I need to have those meltdowns. I need to be able to hold space to cry and feel miserable and to gradually get back up and keep moving forward. And when I say that these moments bring lessons with big capital L, I feel like I've adopted this idea that I'm kind of a superwoman. And so I shouldn't be fazed by fights with my best friend, a trip not working out, my grandmother's passing, another passing in the family, and tensions and everybody being on edge because everybody is grieving. And that's been really interesting to, one, notice, second, analyze, and to see where that comes from. And this is where I say that I'm learning a lot. And also it's in times of crisis where you get to know yourself even deeper and you get to know other people deeper because you're going through such a challenging event, challenging experience, challenging times, right? And that also has contributed to feeling like a failure because I have this unrealistic expectation of being able to support everybody that I love because I know they're suffering, and I wish to be there as much as I can for them, not to, how can I say this? The expectation of evaluating myself and my performance, that may be in a self-care area, that may be in work area, that may be for showing up, is compared to Yancy 5 months ago that was doing all right and that was not dealing with grief, tension, fights, and etc. And so there's kind of a huge discrepancy. I can't compare the two. It's not realistic to compare these two versions of myself. And I am learning to hold space for the current version of myself. And I am open and curious to see what will grow out of this experience. And I know that I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about showing up. I've learned a lot from witnessing how people show up, witnessing how I'm showing up for myself, experiencing it too, and also how I want to show up for others. And that makes me really curious because, you think you know yourself, but you always learn, and you have to embrace those moments. And they suck. Can I just say it? The stuff freaking sucks, man. And it requires compassion and empathy for oneself. All of these experiences taught me about my boundaries, about how I want to be treated, how I treat people. I think that's where I see the best version of myself come out, because I'm allowing myself to breathe, to live, to express how I'm feeling, to hold space, to have empathy towards myself, and also to give myself the love and validation that I need. Because had I not done that, I don't think I would be in this stage that I'm at right now today. So overall, I've had a pretty shitty past 2 months. And I am happy about the moments that I've cherished with my grandma, with my family, the projects that I'm working on right now, and me being the priority project, the best version of Yancy project. And that's a practice because it doesn't come easy. I tend to put people before me, but I am working on cultivating that love and these boundaries to be able to say, you know what? Let me put my gas mask first. Let me eat first. Let me make sure I'm good so I could be good for you. I could be showing up 100% for you. Because if I'm at 0.5, I can't give you 0.4 nor 0.1 because I need it. I'll show one thing though. I'll show 2 moments. I don't know if you know the meme where there's a dog in a house, everything is burning, and the dog is sitting on the chair with a coffee cup. And it's like, this is fine. I had a moment like this where I was on my bed, and you know, when you're not doing so well mentally, a lot of time your environment is in the same state. And so my room's a mess. So I'm sitting in my room a few days after my grandma's passing, after my trip kind of going down the drain, and after a fight with my best friend. And I'm on the bed. I think I cried. And then I started to listen to a song, and my body just started to feel so happy. I was so happy, and I started laughing. And I felt like that dog in that meme. It feels like everything is falling down, everything is burning down, everything is not working out. With my room a mess, like that was really a surreal moment. The second thing is, you know, as I've been feeling like I am a huge failure, though I'm happy to say that I'm feeling way better now. There was a day where I drove my dad to work, and on the way back, I started crying because of how beautiful of a human being I am. I saw my kindness, my sense of humor, my heartwarming, my big heart, my generosity, and I focused on what I loved about myself instead of picking myself apart. Even though I feel like everything is falling apart, I feel like I'm garbage. It's not inherently true. I have garbage moments. I can take garbage decisions, but I'm not inherently a garbage human being. Everything seems like it's burning. Everything seems like it's going down the drain. Everything is challenging, hard, happening at once. And I'm in the car crying because I think I'm a cool ass human being. So overall, in the past 2 months, there has been a lot of raw, difficult, challenging emotions, challenging life events. And we're moving forward. We're trying to focus on the positive, and we're trying to navigate and challenge the negative talk, but also in the meanwhile, holding space to be able to feel like crap and to have those days. So that's it for today's episode. I hope that you were able to find value in what I provided, in the questions that were asked in this check-in. And I'm really happy that I got to let you in what's been happening in my life for the past 2 months. I wish to thank my therapist and also my coach, Lauren, for inspiring these questions, because as much as I would like to say that everything comes from my head, it is simply not true. And I am surrounded by supportive people, amazing people, such as my therapist, Lauren, my friends, my family, my cousin, Nuki, that's been on the podcast as well. So I just wanted to give credit where credit is due. And yeah, I hope that you have a great, amazing summer of 2022. I also hope that you have the support and community that can help you go through whatever you're going through. And that may be the ups and the downs. Also, a quick reminder that everything that has been mentioned in this episode, the listening lines, the emotional list, and also the subtle art of not giving a fuck, is in the show notes. Follow us on social media at That's Exciting on Instagram and at That's Exciting _ on Twitter to be posted on when we are coming back with the long format. Yeah. And on this note, take care of yourself first and your loved ones, and stay curious, because that's exciting. Before we leave, on production team, recording, editing, and sound design by yours truly, myself, Yancy. Special thanks to Jane P for her assistance on production. The official That's Exciting anthem by Calder Nash. The amazing vocals on the track by Mel Pacifico. That's all for today's episode. I'm your host, Yancy, and until next week, stay curious, because that's exciting.
That's exciting.